Okay, so that was just a quick pictorial repot on that ash root over rock fusion project, and a bit more conventional. Here is, well, the trees are not conventional, but a bit more conventional video, I guess. Back to just an ordinary video. This is a hawthorn project with 4 hawthorns. These were all grown from seed. In fact, they self-seeded in my garden or in other pots, wrapped around a sort of vaguely pyramidal shaped rock, and wired together to fuse. Now they are largely fused, but what they're not is clinging to the rock, and that's been an ongoing issue with trees that were already 2 or 3 years old when I started them in these projects. That's why I did the others from year-old seedlings, or even new seedlings rather, and I've had more success with that. To do with this tree is prune it back some, but not too much. But I do want to get rid of some of these long straight growths. I'm going to keep this one that's grown up as a sucker. Hawthorn do that all the time, but I think if I can just bring it back in and then let it grow again, I'll get some more bends, and hawthorn are typically nice bendy trees. Okay, as I say, I'm going to keep this, but I'm going to shorten it back to there. I'm not going to keep both of those. I'm going to keep the smaller one. Oh, there's 3 in fact. Suckers growing off that root. So I'm just chopping back these long branches, and ow! Oh, they're putting the thorn into the hawthorn, that's for sure. I want to expose the rock if I can. I know I said it in the Hawthorn Twins video, which I released recently, but yeah, I can't see if I can focus on that. They're only little as yet, these thorns on this hawthorn, but boy are they sharp. Okay, so just a loose trim round now. And we'll give this tree its head for the rest of the year. As I say, these trees are pretty much fused now, so that's encouraging, to say the least. So this willow root over rock fusion project, just allowed to grow. It's still not fused well, which is a shame, because it's a really nice little sort of saddle piece of rock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prune it back hard, taking off all this long growth, in the hope that I can induce some back budding in this area, because it's just getting too long. We've got a trunk that's died here. No, a trunk that hadn't died. Oh well, I can't stick it back on. That's not going to happen. We'll see if that piece sprouts again. There's a lesson for us all. Double check before you chop. Okay, you can leave that as the leader, but take that out and take that. Okay, let's shorten the whole thing right back. And we'll see what it does this year. What I might try and do, and I've done this successfully in the past, is if I can make a hole in the compost, like so. Take one of these shoots, chop it just beneath a bud, push that down into that hole. If I keep that wet, that might, when I say might root, particularly if I take some of the top off so it doesn't transpire too much. Fingers crossed. All of this was done with cheap pieces of willow that well, just cuttings, so, and the rock I found, the pot I was given, nothing really lost in the fact that I mistakenly cut that. Hey ho. Okay, so here's another willow which again hasn't done fantastically well. When I first started doing fusion projects, I did a lot with willow because willow are kind of known for their ability to fuse. I mean, there's a place just down the road for us called Wetland Willows or something along those lines. It specialises in growing living willow sculptures in pots and willow trellises and willow hurdles, fence panels and things, some living, some just woven, but they all fuse, and so I thought, well, you know, willow's going to be good for fusing and it's easy to root and plentiful, but it hasn't proven to be so. But never mind, going to keep on going with this project. A lot of dieback on it, but try not to chop it off any living bits this time. I'm going to chop that back, and this piece I'm going to kind of plait together. Like so. And let's wrap a little piece of wire around that. Tidy that up later. Put another piece around there, like so, and then chop the top. Very rough, very ready. Worst comes to worst, the whole thing sort of keels over and dies. I'll pull it out and I'll try something nice around that rock, because it's a nice, well, kind of white marbly type rock that I picked up in a field somewhere. So it's a nice, interesting piece. But there you go. Experiment, sometimes fail, or just don't go as well as you would hope. Here's one more willow fusion piece that wasn't part of this original group in the first place, but has just been worked on to one side, but it's actually done better than any of the ones in the group, strangely enough. And what we've got is a fairly flat triangle of rock with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trees originally, They have all fused together, apart from this one, which seems to have died in this portion, but not here. So I'm going to see if I can just take off the growing tip. There is a gap there, and it's whether it's going to remain flexible enough to maneuver it without damaging it so much it dies off. All I can do is cross my fingers on that one, and then I'm going to chop back this like so, and going to take off these suckers on these what are now roots rather than trunks. This piece I'm going to leave in place to help flatten this hollow. Dead piece just there can go, and then that piece can go. This can maybe start to form a branch, so I'm going to shorten that but not lose it entirely. Then I'm in two minds. Do I want this to be my trunk line, keeping it over the centre of gravity? Yes, I do. And then I have to choose my front, which I think is going to be this. So I'm going to keep this piece to continue that trunk line, which I'm going to shorten back to a bud there. And this piece obviously belongs to that root. So it can be done. It takes a while, and Sod's Law says it'll be the tree that you don't feature that achieves it first. So here's the final tree in this particular group on this particular playlist, which is linked in the description and in the end screen. Again, this was some seedlings that came from a neighbour's tree, I believe, and I wrapped around this rock. But again, they weren't young seedlings when I put them around, and they haven't, well, they are getting there, but there's still a bit of a gap. I can almost get the handle of that tool through there, but slowly, oh so slowly. The whole top is fused now, which is nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shorten it back quite considerably, because it's getting very tall and leggy now, which I don't want it to. So at some point I will start thinking about some branch placement, but I'd still like just to incur the growth. They're working in the field behind us, that's what Cooper's barking at. Like I've said before in other videos, he does think that the field behind our house belongs to us. And because it's got a couple of public footpaths crisscrossing it, it's a place we go walkies quite a lot, which just further confirms the thought in his mind that 'tis ours. Okay, so just making sure I don't trim back past any green. I can otherwise cut back quite hard because I haven't root pruned this recently. Okay, that's got some interesting potential, possibly. Let's get rid of those. I think this is my front. Well, it is my front. It has the two trunks in front of the rock. That could be a front as well, but yeah, that'll do. That'll do nicely for this year. Sometimes these videos seem a little bit boring, That's where the playlists come in, hopefully. And you can see each tree developing over several years rather than just a 5-minute chop, leaving it looking a bit rough and ropey. Nothing left to say then, except for thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate every person that takes the time to watch my videos. Do the usual YouTube liking and subscribing and commenting. Tell me what you think. But most of all, please take care of yourselves. Stay safe, everybody.